Good morning, everybody. It's Marg with Creative Stamping with Marg. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from St. Albert, Alberta, Canada. Here again on another Tuesday, another card layout. This was inspired by one of our downline meetings. We made a sample of this card, so I'm going to share it with you. I really like it. And it will be probably, I'm going to say, the last Christmas card that I'm going to be doing with you. The next week, it'll probably be something different. All right, I'm going to point you down to my desk and we'll get started. Okay, there we go. That looks pretty good. All right, I've left this reminder on my desk about the last chance products from the mini catalog that have gone to they're disappearing or carrying over, one or the other, and some of the items are on up to 60% off. So check that out. Quite a few of the things are gone already. So unfortunately, even the paper I'm going to use today has disappeared, not to come back again. So I had already prepped the card, so I'm going to go ahead and use it, but I will show you some other samples with other papers. All right, just remember to get in on that last chance if there's something you want out of the mini catalog. Okay, put that to the side. The card we're making today, I said, was inspired by a sample that we made at our downline meeting. We are using Pretty Peacock today. The card base is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, and it is going to be a top folding opening, so a tent card. So it goes like that. That's your card base. You're going to need a card stock layer. So depending on what paper you're using, you'll have to decide on the color. This one is Lost Lagoon. This layer is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. So you're going to get a nice border of your Pretty Peacock around it. Then you're going to need a piece of DSP, 3 3/4 by 5, and I am using the Winter Meadow paper, which is being carried over. So I'm excited about that because they don't often carry paper over. So this is the one that had the little trees on the back. I'm using the other side. Okay, so it's going to go on there like that. You're going to need another piece of cardstock. This piece is 1 inch by 5 1/8 inch. And I have embossed this piece with one of the embossing folders out of the the Basics 3D embossing folders. And this one, I don't know, it sort of looks like stars or poinsettias. I just like the look of this one. So I've embossed that, and it's going to be on the front of our card. Then I use the Nested Essential dies. I use the squares. So I use the second largest square and the second smallest square. So here's the second largest square, and I used that Snowflake Magic paper. Unfortunately, it is gone, but that's the one square I'm using. And then you need 2 squares of the second smallest, and this is another of the same package of paper, just different paper. So you've got 2 of those. I also cut a piece, 1 inch piece, to put on the inside of my card. So, 1 inch, a 1/2 inch piece to put on the inside of my card. So there's that. Okay. And I have a white deckled rectangle white piece that's going to go on the inside with my greeting on it. I have another piece of the DSP that is 2 1/2 by 6 that's going on my envelope flap, which we will do at the end. And I think you need a scrap for a greeting on the outside, and I've got some ribbon. I'm using some of the online only ribbon that's called Glittered Organdy ribbon. That's it there. I've taken a piece, I've folded it, so there's the fold there. I've tied a knot on it, and it's going to go underneath our greeting. I'm just looking at my Band-Aid on my thumb. Sorry about that, but I said I have a cut on my thumb, and I cannot work with paper and have it open, so I had to put a Band-Aid on. It doesn't look very pleasant, but all right, let's get putting this together. So I'm going to start by putting the Designer Series paper onto my card layer. Okay, so it's going to go on with just a small border all the way around. so that you can see a little bit of the Lost Lagoon there. And then it's going to go flat onto our card front. So I will go ahead and put it on. I'm using the liquid Tombow glue today. So I'm going to put it on here like this. And this border is a bit bigger, but you're going to center your piece like that. Just put it on. All right. The embossed strip I'm going to lay on top. So I guess this card has a few more pieces than I usually have, but if you have your pieces cut and prepped, it goes together quite quickly. So this one goes from top to bottom of your cardstock layer, just like that. And you can place it anywhere you want. I should have shown you a dry fit, I guess, before I did this, but my square is going to go on here, and these two little squares are going on. And then I have stamped my greeting and punched it out with the Layering Ovals punch. And the greeting came from Trucking Along, wishing you a festive Christmas. So that's from the Trucking Along stamp set. And it's going to go in the middle. So like I say about dry fitting, you may want to lay it out before you put it on. Now, the way we did this is we took these, if you like the placement of those squares, I see something sticking off of there. I think I will put my squares on. You glue your little squares on first, and then the whole thing is coming up on dimensionals. So I think I will just glue it on the card here, just only because I want it to be, just looking at how it's fitting on the layer below it. So I just put a little glue in the corner just so that I could put these on. And you want, that looks all right. Okay, like that. And my thought was I would put this ribbon behind my greeting, and it would just go across here like this. All right, so I am going to pop this up on dimensionals. Dimensionals are here. So in order for this not to be sagging, you're going to want to put a few dimensionals on it, because I always like a dimensional in the middle, so I know that it's not going to sag a little bit. I think that should be okay. I think that should be okay. So we will put it on. And I am going to put my greeting up on dimensionals also. And it just gives it a nice look with the ribbon behind it. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, I think this will be my last go round with Christmas cards, only because we're getting down to the wire. And I'm hoping if you're mailing cards that you've already got that done. And if you're hand delivering or giving on Christmas Day, whoopsie, what happened there? Look at that, we've got a dimensional backing stuck under my card there. Okay, so there that goes. I'll move this out of the way, you can see it a bit better. All right, and now my greeting, I'm going to take my glue runner. You've probably seen me do this before. Take my glue runner, and I want that ribbon to just lay across here. So I'm just going to put some glue on the back of this. And I thought I can always trim my one end off. But I thought I kind of wanted this just to be kind of like that. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on it. So that'll hold it down while I get dimensionals on it. And I think I will just use 3 dimensionals on this one, like that. And that also holds your ribbon when you put your dimensionals on top. And then peel these off, the backings, and then we're able to put this on top like that. I think I want it sort of centered on the big square. and across like that. Not sure that's straight, but there we go. There we go. Oh, that's shiny. I'll tip it a bit. So that's a nice layout for a card, just something different. And it uses, you know, some beautiful specialty paper. I will show you another card that we did at Lillian's that uses the Joyful specialty paper. Now, on the inside of this card, I had already cut my deckled rectangle, and I've stamped this greeting that comes from Brightest Glow stamp set, which I've used a lot. And I'm going to put it in here. Whoops, sorry, bang my camera. And I do have a piece of a strip of the paper to put in. And, you know, I might put it across for something different, or just a minute here. Put it up at the top. You know what? I might put it across the bottom of this greeting, not all the way across, so let's do that. It's something I haven't done before. Just instead of the whole way across. Okay. Just going to line this up on my grid paper a little bit. You can't really see this, but I can through my grid paper. Trying to get it on somewhat straight. All right, and then I will just take my paper snips and snip that piece off and trim the end here a little bit, like that. There we go, and we can glue this into the inside. I did bring some adhesive-backed gems to do the front, so we'll see how that looks. Go. So there's the inside of our card finished, and the front. Now, if we wanted some gems on this, I brought in the adhesive backed glitter sequins, and they come in blue, white, and olive, it says. And I thought maybe the blue would work for this. I wasn't 100% sure. I'll get my take your pick tool. We'll try one. I'll try a big one. They're very flat, which is very nice. So I was thinking, yeah, I really like the look of that. They're very, very flat. They're very nice. These would be great to go through the mail because they aren't, they're just so nice and flat. So let's just, I don't want them in a line, but there. So I put 3 on just to give it a little more sparkle. I think that turned out really nice. So there's our finished card and the inside, and I can glue the piece of Designer Series paper onto the flap. So I just add a little bit of liquid Tombow glue, and I've got my rectangle cut already, 2.5 by 6. And you just put it on there like that. And then I just trim the excess off, and you have a really nice coordinating envelope. All right. So today I am going into another craft sale. I know I mentioned that I was in a craft sale before, but I've now been invited to another one. So that should finish me off for the year for craft sales. All right, so there's our card, finished card and envelope. These out of the way, okay. And I will bring in the other samples. This is the card that we made in our meeting. So it was done with different colors, and you can see this is it opens the regular way, but this is the different paper she used, Joyful, this paper. And the word joy comes from Brightest Glow stamp set. We stamped on there, and we used a little bit of gold trim and a gold gem, and there's the inside. So that's really nice. That's Cherry Cobbler, that one. So that was the inspiration for the makings of this card. Now this is retired paper that I used on this one, but this one is really bright. So there's this one. Gorgeous. This is think this paper was called Whimsical Trees. I'm not sure, I can't remember, but had lots of shine and glitter on it. So I did this one, and I used the stripes embossing folder for this one. And I put quite a larger piece of paper in, because a smaller strip, you couldn't tell what anything was. So I thought that looked really pretty, and I just moved my white piece over. So that's the third one. And I think I put this on the envelope. The other envelope, I think I stamped on the other envelope that we did in our meeting with the holly leaves. So that's this one, goes with this like that. So 3 very different looking cards, all done the same layout. And you can see these squares are quite close together. These are not. These are not either. So you can lay it out any way you like, and you could use different shapes. If you had different shapes, you could cut different shapes. If you don't have the dies, you can always just cut squares or other shapes that you have. If you had a punch, that would work too. So that's our card for today. I hope you enjoyed that. If anyone's interested in ordering any supplies, please get a hold of me. I do have a website, so margaretgorn.stampinup.net is my website that you can go to and look at the product, or contact me through that website. All right, I hope everybody has a great week, and I'll see you next Tuesday.